All right, welcome to another episode of Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. Hey, don't you love this amazing virtual background? Well, it's just a brand new piece of technology that I have where I can interact with the virtual background. It's called reality. And the reality is that my sister is in my studio. And so I don't have access to all my other stuff. So I am here, of course, broadcasting live from my amazing dining room table. And today we have another interview. Today's actually been a cool day. This has been a trifecta day. Trifecta, look up that SAT word. That's which is I've had 3 interviews in one day. And this amazing next guest here, she's always loved figuring out how things work. She's a scientist to her core. She craved to dig into the mysteries of life and understand why the things are the way they are and why the hell did she sign up for my podcast. Let's bring in the one and only coffee master, Janine Bolon. Hi, Janine. What's going on?
We're having a great time out here in Colorado, and I'm learning to snowshoe. So what's happening in your world?
Well, my friends in Southern California are drowning in the atmospheric river. But today, oh my gosh, I just looked out my window. The sun just peeked out of the cloudy day here in Seattle, but it didn't rain today. And I'm excited to say, because I had to go to the dentist. By the way, all good news. All good news for these
Excellent. You
teeth
get a gold star because you didn't have brown teeth. Well done.
from coffee.
Right?
I got to drive home with the top down, right? And even though it's 46 degrees here, I don't care. That's one of my favorite things to do is
That's just sweet to be able to drive with the top down.
the top down. And I'm trying to think what different pieces of music. Uh, Police's every little thing she do is magic.
Exactly.
Everything she do just turned me on.
hmm
Tragic. And that's joy. That's really joy to me, Janine. I don't know about you. I don't know what's on your joy list, but that's on my joy list.
For me, it's whenever I can get out from behind my studio and
Yeah.
be able to get out into the Rocky Mountains. There's a reason why it took me 20 years to get out here, but now
Oh,
that I'm out here, you could not pry me out with a crowbar because I absolutely am living the life that I have always wanted for myself. So, yeah, that's my
oh.
joy. Yeah.
Well, we got some great outdoors here too in the Northwest one day if you come out here. And we love we love those Rockies. I'm trying to think Copper Mountain,
Yeah, Copper
and a few
Mountain
other.
is
Yeah.
is few others, and also, that's also on the Utah side as well.
Yeah.
So that's not just the Front Range. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, speaking of ooh, why don't you do us a favor for my friends who don't know you? Why don't you take a moment to say who you are and what you do?
Well, hello. I'm Janine Bolon, and I happen to be a human being on planet Earth, and there are times where I don't think I fit. And because I don't think I fit, that is what I write my books about is, okay, how do you try to integrate the insanity that is your daily life and create the life you want? And that can be kind of challenging, especially when you've got a thing called rent, mortgage, children, tuition, and all of a sudden life gets pretty dull when you hit that adulting 101, as my kids talk about. And so I kind of just assist people that want to write their story and leave some sort of a legacy. So one of my fun
Mm.
things, if you want to get on my podcast, it's we basically help you save time, save money, save knowledge, and save your sanity. Those are the things that we focus on, and those are the books I write. So, what do I do and who am I? Hi, fellow Earthling. I'm an author, I'm a speaker. And if you find yourself stuck or struggling, let me help you out. Come on to Open Friday Coffee. It's free.
All right. So speaking of Open Friday Coffee, I want to give a shout out to my new friend Tiffany Thien. Just reached out to me from Florida. I think it's Sarasota, Florida, and she commented on the video that I posted of my 6 camera setup for my last week's hybrid, and she goes, "These are my people, right? Oh my God, look at that setup!" All right, and so she sent me a picture of the one that she has, and we're trying to see if we're going to meet. I'm going to be in Orlando, which I don't know if close enough or not. But shout out to Tiffany. And so Jenny, talk about. So we met on coffee. Somebody. Oh my. Another Floridian was nice, right? Floridian said Matt Roseman.
Yeah,
Matt
Matt
Roseman.
Roseman. Yeah, he's one of our 1 minute tech tip guys. Every time he comes on, he gives us a 1 minute tech tip, and it's always a lot of fun because he sprinkles it with his Hebrew haha.
And he's got the Hebrew haha, and it's not only Hebrew, he speaks a bunch of other dialects because the last time I had him on, I had to give the NSFW warning, which is not safe for work. So because I said, Matt, I said, I just want you to say whatever the hell you want to say on this podcast. And he goes, okay. And it was like, it was hilarious. So we were both crying laughing by the time we were done. It was so good.
He's a
So,
good guest.
okay. So talk about your coffee. How did you create your coffee? What's your coffee about?
Well, because I had so many people that wanted to find out if I was a good fit to work with them, and they had listened to all my podcasts, and I've been one of those crazy people that since 1982 I've been on radio. And so back in 2003 they called us audio bloggers. I don't know if you were around for that, but we were audio bloggers, and they were like, where on the radio do I tune in? I'm like, no, it's on the internet. And they're like, oh my gosh, how do I tune in on the internet on my radio? I mean, these were the type of questions people were asking me as an audio blogger. And it wasn't until 2016 that we became podcasters. So I've been on the air for a lot. And so people want to work with me. And I say, hey, come on to my Open Friday coffee. That's free. You can decide out if my form of lunacy is your form of lunacy. If you really want to make sure that that's something you want to get involved in, it may not be your cup of tea because I am a techie,
Coffee.
but I'm not like John Chen techie. Like John Chen is the master. He's like got the 6 screens, and they're in a horseshoe around him. I'm techie in the sense that I just know how to operate things.
I got a pepper grinder right now. That's how much tech I'm rocking right now. Although it's really funny actually, Janine, as leading up to this. And by the way, our good friend Matt Roseman says Nerdy Matt says hi, and Janine and John are great
Aw,
people. Oh, shout out to you, Matt. Thank you for that.
yeah. He's
And
also a Hebrew hottie, just to let you know. Hashtag Hebrew
oh,
hottie.
I don't think he's available. I think he's married.
No, he's available. Yeah. So we're looking for somebody for him. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
yeah. So just letting you know.
J date. Isn't that J date? Isn't that where he's supposed to be? J date right now.
Right. He's not
Oh.
going to let me forget this. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
oh yeah. This is the worst part. I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say. Oh no, setting up for this because I had to like panic set up because I'm like, is my sister done? I'm texting her while I'm in another meeting. I'm like, are you gonna be done by 3:55 Pacific Standard Time? You know, it doesn't matter where you are now. You have to say what time zone you're in so people don't get confused. And I didn't get a response. So then I took my laptop and I'm like, so this is the iRig HD2 mic. This is a USB mic, and it sounds amazing. I hope it sounds amazing, but I have gotten feedback from other people. It sounds amazing,
Mhm.
right? Earbud headphones are just plugged into the back of this. This new one here, I don't know. Have you seen this OBSBot or OBS Bot Tiny 2 camera?
Yes, I've seen it. I haven't used it though.
Oh, I can tell you, I have now rocked a collection of events. One of the things that's really cool is that a DSLR requires almost 6 cables. There's like power, HDMI. Then I put a best core into it so I can move it around. And so it's like 5 or 6 wires. It's like not simple. This OBS bot is like one USB-C cable. It's got power. It's now a pan tilt zoom camera to 4x, and it actually will track you. Oh, here, wait. Let me see if I can do this. This is was unplanned, by the way. I just want people to understand that when we do tech like this. Okay, so tracking. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. So now I can turn on normal tracking. And now the camera is following me, Janine. It's like I have my own camera person here in my house. Back to you, Janine.
And this is why John Chen is your man when it comes to making those engaging virtual meetings. So make sure you pay attention to the rest of the people that he's had on, because he doesn't just talk to anybody. Just wanted to let you know that. So thank you for having me on, John.
Oh, well, thank you. And again, thank you for being here. Okay, watch. Now I got to try and get the camera in the
Camera
right
to
position.
stop
There you
tracking
go.
you.
No, I have to turn off the tracking in the right position, right? Because
Right?
it's joystick control on a mouse is like a little bit horrendous. It's like whoa, 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 and I have to do it off camera all the time before I switch to it. Like I'm watching the preview until
Mhm.
like I feel like I'm in Top Gun, right? Oh, I
Right.
got tone. All right, switch the camera, right? I got tone. Nerdy Matt is just rocking it here. He's also saying, John, you can't date me, and Hebrew hottie in progress.
There was one time where he actually logged on to one of our open Friday coffees and he was at the gym working out. And that's where the hashtag Hebrew Hottie came from.
Oh,
And
okay. So
so,
my best Zoom to date is my friend Jimbo Clark was in Taiwan, logged into our 5 o'clock every Friday. We have a happy hour, by the way, 5 o'clock
okay, there
Pacific
you
Standard
go.
Time, and he called in, and then he put his phone on his motorcycle and listened to the whole happy hour. Didn't really talk, but we were watching a motorcycle view of Taiwan, and it was fantastically engaging.
Yes, it is, especially when you have pedestrians walking by.
Oh, Taiwan has them all. Although, have you ever seen the scooter system in Taiwan? Janine, have you been to Taiwan yet?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So like scooters have their own lanes, and like there's this
Oh, yes.
whole invisible culture of how scooters operate, and there's almost never a crash. It's very few crashes, despite what looks like chaos.
Hmm. Yeah, I've always been impressed by that. I've
Hmm.
always been impressed by that aspect. And then when I was in Shanghai for a period of time, being able to walk around there, and I remember I had this very British gentleman walk up beside me, and I was just looking at the chaos, what I perceived to be as chaos in front of me. And he goes, "Take a deep breath and step forward and stay to your path and just keep moving." And I did that, and nobody ever runs into anybody else.
But
It
yeah,
works just fine.
you cannot erratically go forward and back because you screw up the whole system.
You have to just move forward and just make it happen, and be like, talk about setting intentions.
Yeah,
It's great.
that's a feel the fear and do it anyways kind
Anyway,
of moment, right?
yes, it is.
Because you can't, you don't know yet that you need to trust the system without the life experience to go, oh, this is how you do it.
Right, right. Yeah. You just have to
Mhm.
trust the process, and off you go, stepping off the curb now, and you
All right.
just go.
Well, speaking of trusting the process, why don't you talk to us about your last 3 to 4 years? You know, we all went virtual. What what happened in Janine Boland's life in March of 2020, and what was your strategies, right? You know, for virtual meetings.
Okay. Well, life was pretty much the same. I have been online since 1996.
Ooh, what were some of the platforms you're on? I want to know. I want to know.
Well, I was using Juno for email.
Yes, I had a Juno account. It
Right?
was free as hell.
Right. And
Right.
and there were these astronomical prices that they wanted just so that you could do online platforms for educational learning, distance learning, and all that. And I had students in Canada, and I had students down in Madrid, Mexico, and all that. And so anyway, it was just crazy times. And
Mhm.
so come about, oh, I guess it was 2003, 2004, there was this new beta test that you could do on this thing called Zoom. And so I signed up, and my students would complain, "What do you mean I have to download an application onto my computer just to talk to you?"
Wah.
Uh-huh. And they were
Drive the
like,
wambulance.
yeah, right. And I just want to do freeconferencecall.com. I know freeconferencecall.com. I don't know the Zoom thing. Why do you need to see me? Now I have to get made up. Now I have to like, so this is what I was used to having to deal with. And in 2019, 2020, 2020, I feel like everyone joined my party. Like, they're here with me. And everybody's like doing it like I am, and thank you. So
I
that
do feel
was,
that way. Yeah.
yeah. And so for me, it was like everybody joined my party. I felt like the whole world was, helping. everybody deal and comprehend and integrate and working through it. I watched amazing transformations happen for people that would never have happened if we had kept business as usual. Now, as far as my own business, like you know how you talk about I had 15 different events that canceled?
Yeah.
I had 93 that
Mhm.
canceled because of that. I watched my income plummet to zero. So, like you, all right, okay, time to pivot. What are we going to do now? Oh, yeah. And so that's one of those things where you just pivot, you do the best you can. But as far as what my day-to-day life looked like, I just had to put a mask on every time I went to the grocery store. That was about the only difference. Otherwise, my life was operating pretty much the same way it had been. I was just now having to figure out, okay, with those 93 events that I've had to cancel, now what am I doing? So yeah, I understand
Well,
your pain.
the other part is that all the grocery stores finally delivered correctly. So you could order all your groceries and never leave your house. It was so great, right? They finally got that ordering, and now, and it's amazing. It's weird. We went back to grocery shopping because there are parts of that service we're unhappy with, like they don't, select good produce or fruits, and then they're subbing all the time. Like, why put it on your damn website if you're not going to have it in the friggin' store? I mean, how hard is it going to be? Why are you subbing and then subbing super subpar products for? Can you just give me my groceries?
I just want my groceries. And so there's always that balancing act that you're having to do, right? You're always
Yeah.
trying to figure out what is the best way that I can make something happen for myself. So, yeah, I hear you. And for those people who really did not want to engage with people, like they were very happy in their home,
Oh
I think
yeah.
it's about time they were finally able to get things not only delivered, but
Yeah.
then they could have groceries delivered to them. So, a
Yeah.
lot of neat things happened, a lot of opportunities presented themselves that were never possible before. It was like they say from The Princess Bride, inconceivable. Things that were inconceivable were happening all the time, all around, everywhere. It's wonderful.
I don't think you know what that word means.
Means you keep using that word.
Speaking of words, Matt says mask equals chin diaper. Thanks a lot, Floridian. Mark Sandamoki, was it? Oh, Sandamonicus. Oh, geez, I can't remember what the
Remember,
name is.
yeah. Don't worry, Matt will be texting you here in a minute.
He already is. He's already is.
He's already making
Uh,
that happen for you.
okay, so you've been online a long time, which is great. So in that part, you said your life doesn't change. So what I want to know is for you is like what has to happen in a virtual meeting that you're not leading, by the way, that you're attending. What has to happen in that virtual meetings for you to feel like you're engaged?
I really love an agenda. I am so sorry that I am old school. But if you don't have an agenda and I'm just supposed to show up, then I know that 80% of those people are going to check out. They're not even present. They physically are there, but their eyeballs are nowhere near, and it's just terrible. So forgive me for being so old school, but I want an agenda. I want to know what we're going to be doing. And if it's the first 10 minutes, we're just going to get to know each other. Thank you. I'll make sure I'm on my time so that I can hear what everybody's introductions are and
Yeah.
I can give my own, blah, blah, blah. And to me, that's the big one. The fact
Mm.
that if you have music, before the meeting, then I'm like, oh, hey, we're gonna have fun on this one. Cool, nice to know. But to me, really, it's an agenda because I have had to attend so many online meetings when people really didn't know what they were doing. To me, it's like, come on now, people, let's have an agenda. Tell me what's going to happen. And it doesn't necessarily have to be emailed to me in advance, but please, at least put it in the chat or something. Let us know what's happening. So, yeah, that's kind of my requirement.
Well, and somebody who wrote the HR TLDR, whatever it is, too long didn't read. I quoted one of her articles because I thought she had it right. And she said, right, virtual meetings are not the problem, right? Virtual meetings are the same problems you had in in-person meetings, except they were just magnified.
They are magnified because you're all sitting there and you have to sit there, and it's not like people's gaze are necessarily moving. It's almost like you're in theater. You never know who is looking at you, but if you're on stage, and when you're on Zoom, you are on stage. If you
All
are
the
on
time.
stage,
Yeah.
somebody in that room is looking at you. Yes.
So and things like that. Many in-person meetings were run without agendas, and they're just as much of a disaster then. And like I said, a virtual meeting just expounds the fact, like, why am I here? Am I even in the right meeting? Right? What's supposed to be happening here? I'm already like 92% disoriented.
Mhm.
You just finish it by not guiding me through it. I'm really excited. A new client that I have was showing me her slide deck, and Robbie Samuels, right?
Yes.
Robbie. Yeah. And she had a journey map. She had, these are the 5 things we're going to cover during this section, and she was pointing an arrow, like the slide changed, at every section, and said, now we're doing thing 2, now we're doing thing 3. And that, Robbie continues to promote that, and I don't think I use it enough, and I'm trying to think about how do I do that. But it is really cool to see when somebody else does it and they do it really, really well.
And I love that for people that have that kind of structure in their meetings. So one of the things that I recommend to people is if you have a meeting that you know what you want to cover and all that, definitely break out the journey map. And the other fun thing is if you're going to do something that's more free flowing and informal, say like an open Friday coffee or some sort of event, then make sure that you at least let people know who's on deck. Like you're getting ready, like in my open Friday coffee, I call on people all the time. I would like your 1 minute tip. I'd like, how can you help people? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
If you have a
sure.
question. And not everybody knows how to raise their hand on the Zoom, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Or they do this, right? And so you're like, okay, so and so, so and so, so and so. And then sometimes I lose track. And so that's totally my bad, but I'll lose track and I'll go, hey, who did I say was next? And what I love is when I have 22 people on the call and they all look at me like, I don't know. All right, we're going to go with so and so then. It's very informal,
Yeah.
but have fun with it. And I think that's kind of the thing, isn't it? Is if we're not having fun, why are we here?
Well, you say that like it's genius. Although, Matt, now I can chime on. Like, what is the meaning of life on a Zoom? And
42.
42, and have fun.
Have fun. Yeah. If we're not having fun, I love the people that are on, such as I love the fact that I'm able to be with you today.
Yeah.
And to me, it is such a privilege because I would not have met you if it hadn't been for online events. So
Yeah.
to me, it's
Right.
very exciting. And I enter each room in that kind of vein. And so if you've lost that kind of spark, and if you don't find that in your life, then I highly recommend you get back to the old coloring books and figure out what it is that does bring you joy while you color in between the lines, just so that you can kind of get that creativity sparked again.
Well, let's talk about connection. All right. And connection is really a key piece. The really fun part is I host a engaging virtual karaoke every Saturday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're invited, Janine, anytime you want. And what's great about it is I've now met probably 40 to 50% of them in person in the last 3 years. And so we have these real connections, right? It goes right back to the core theory behind Rotary or any of these other, Vistage, that if you bump the same people together enough, right, eventually you'll form a relationship with somebody. And that connection is so key. I love that somebody called it vitamin C recently. Vitamin C is not about the citric acid. It's about connection, and you need it. It is such a core piece to you. So I want to know, like, how do you connect with people on virtual, and what are some of the best connections you made in the last 3 or 4 years?
I would have to say that I have a secret weapon when it comes to that sort of thing, and I do it via direct mail. And so I find out people's address and I send them cards and I remind them
Oh,
that I met them on an open Friday coffee. And not everybody will sign my form. Not everybody will feel comfortable putting the address in. But for those who do, they go on to my sequence of cards that I like giving out. And I've hand done every single card. And I let them know how important they are to me. And what's amazing to me is the number of people that come back just because of the direct mail that I sent them. So if you're wanting good mail, then I'm your person to go to on that. So that's my secret weapon for forming that connection, is letting them know, look, you are important to me, whether you think the connection was solid or not. And I would like to stay in your life. How do you want that to happen?
oh my goodness. I love Matt too, of course. Matt says, you forget somebody's name, you may forget their face, but you usually won't forget how they treated you and how they made you feel.
Mhm.
And I believe this too. Like I was a recruiter. I was a technical recruiter at Microsoft for a decade. I interviewed at least 1,000 people. Janine, give me a number of the people who wrote me back a handwritten card thanking me for the interview.
I would say 10.
Three.
Wow. I thought you had better odds. Okay.
One, two, three. We're talking Microsoft too. We're talking like a top 100 company in the world. And I do believe that a handwritten card is a great secret weapon
Hmm.
because nobody's doing it.
Hmm. It
And
is.
I love that you'll hopefully you'll love this too. I'm now a fan of wax seals, so I went to New Orleans, and one of my friends is just a super pen fanatic, and so she bought me a brand new like fountain pen, right, real ink, and we went to a store that she like we have to go to the store in New Orleans, and it was so the coolest, fascinating store, and I went and I bought these multicolored wax candles so when they drip like iridescent patterns, and I got two C stamps for the last name Chen. And I'm trying to figure out all the different places that I could use that. So, like a wax seal is another like coup de grace on the written piece on here. One other thing, the U.S. mail has definitely been one of my core strategies, Janine. So, like, I don't think you've received one of my packages yet, have you?
No, I have not.
Okay, so when you chat your address, all right, you're gonna get this thing in the mail, and it's the lumpy envelope, right? I've gotten a chance recently to hang with Jay Abraham. Jay Abraham is like the godfather of old school amazing marketing, and he's still going. He's not old school, by the way. He is still looking for all the latest techniques about what's going on. But one of his that he espouted at one point was the lumpy envelope. To send somebody this lumpy envelope, and so when you get this gift, right, 24 things are going to spill out of it. They're all branded items, but they're all for me. They're all things that are going to make your virtual meeting better. And it like this package is like led to probably more business than any automated ad campaign I've ever used.
May I show you mine?
Ooh. I'll show you yours if you show me mine. I feel like that. I feel like the
Fabulous.
little
Fabulous. I think it'll be wonderful. So this
Okay,
is
go.
mine.
Oh,
That's what I
right.
send.
Right.
I send this to anybody who wants it on my Open Friday coffee. And you
Genius.
would think that it's just a little card. No. These people I have people that move and they
Yeah.
lose their card and they give me their new address and they're like, oh my God, Janine, I don't have my card. Can you send me another card? And it's like, no problem. I got you covered. No problem. We'll set that up. So that's what you get from me when you sign up for that. But the biggest thing is the lumpy envelope, totally true. And sending these cards, you're talking about connection. And one of the things about direct
Mm.
mail is I know I have a 98.7% open rate. How do I know that so effectively? Because I've had people tell me that they found an envelope 2 years later and they opened it and they were surprised to find out that it was a July 4th, happy Friday, happy Independence Day. And it happened to be Independence Day 2 years later, and they had to tell me the story. So then they call me up and like, I've got to tell you the story. This is what happened. Swear to goodness, this is what happened. So
Swear to goodness.
yeah. So to me, this is like direct mail is the way I stay in touch with people. And if folks say, but I'm not comfortable asking for somebody's address, I'm like, you're not going to go stalk them. As I tell people, I don't have time. Okay. I am busy. So if you want to give me your mailing address, great. If you don't worry about it. But at
That's
the
fine.
same time, I have really cool stuff that I send out. And if you want to joke, definitely give me a holler. I'll be glad to send you cards. So anyway, to me, it's a joy. I absolutely enjoy doing it. It's in
Yeah.
my wheelhouse
Mm.
as a writer. I enjoy it.
Mm.
And I encourage people to, I say, if you don't enjoy it, then don't be doing it. If you enjoy sending lumpy mail, go, John, go.
Matt just randomly chatted corn or beanstalk, and I have no idea what he means. I have absolutely no. I'm pretty fast. I really have no clue what he was talking about. Maybe he'll explain it
I
in the next
don't
chat.
either. I don't either. So you're going to have to ask him. I'm just laughing because I know if it's Matt, it's going to be something corny.
Oh, and that's the
Not,
end of this podcast.
and we are done.
And scene.
End scene.
Okay. Uh And I love that. And actually now you kind of inspire me. So one of the latest purchases I got last year I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you that I got it at a garage sale because it's where we got our outdoor sofa. And right. And I was looking on this place and they had to move to Jacksonville, Florida from Seattle. So they got to sell all this stuff because they don't want to like it costs a bunch of money to ship it all. And they had a Cricut.
Oh, those machines are lovely.
Right. And
Those
so
machines are lovely for making t-shirts and all kinds of things. Yeah.
so just Janine, describe a Cricut for somebody who doesn't know what a Cricut is.
Well, it started off as, believe it or not, in the hospitality world. So it was a way that you could make signs very quickly in hotels or what have you to direct people to different conference rooms. And Cricut went, hey, you know what? We could use this as templates for making your own t-shirts or oh, I just lost the name. Anyway,
Screen
so
printing.
that it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, why I had
Ding.
trouble. Ding. But anyway, so one of the things that they started doing was that you could use it anywhere. And so people started sticking the stuff everywhere, making their own signs, using it for all kinds of things. And you could use some pretty fancy images on that as well. And when you started being able to download custom images and stuff like that, people went nuts. So creatives absolutely love Cricuts because you're able to build a lot of stuff that used to only be produced by professional printers.
So yeah, so a Cricut is basically you can connect it USB to your computer. It has software that goes with it. You can take almost any graphic pattern and then cut it out. And the material they usually have is like a sticker like material with a backing, and it cuts just through the sticker part. It's like a basically a really like a precise blade that can do three-dimensional cutting on it. And then there's all these different materials. One is an iron on, one is a sticker that you can put on a glass, right? I was just about to turn my did you see the Saturday Night Live skit last weekend? It was called The Big Dumb Cup.
No, no, I haven't.
Do you know that the Stanleys, right? The Stanley is the
Right.
hot new cup right now.
Oh yeah, people went nuts. Oh my gosh, crazy. It was like, what is this, Cabbage Patch Kids? No,
It's a cup
it's a cup.
with lead. That's the latest report. But I own one of them and I want to put this engaging sticker so I can turn my Stanley Cup into like my branded item. And this is the thing that can do it. You take a red piece of vinyl and it will do all the cuts. You peel the sticker out and it can say engaging in exactly the same pattern that I have. And so yeah, so that's what the latest thing. And now I know a purpose for it is that one of the Cricuts can build these three-dimensional cards or cards that are cut out. Right. So that would be really cool. It's like, let's make a card and the card like you can make these really cool, intricate patterns out of it. And so now the card is custom. So again, you're not a send out card person. You're saying that you go out and buy all these cards or you make all these cards. Is that right, Janine?
I am a send out card person because I
Oh, you
love their
are.
system. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if you.
I didn't want to bias anybody, but the thing is I don't care how you do it, but
Sure.
I send out thousands of cards a year. And so to do it by hand was taking me 2 and 3 hours a day. And so I had to change something up. And so then I went to send out cards. But as I tell everybody, I have typed every single card. It's not like I've sent that to a different person. To me, it's my joy. So if you get a card from me, it's from me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of my friends they have been big advocates too of send out cards. Send out cards has a pretty wicked system too. I mean, you can send brownies and candy and all
Oh,
sorts of other
yes.
stuff,
Let me
right?
tell you, brownies have done more for my business with those cards.
You heard it here, everybody. Here's a you want more in 24? Buy more brownies.
Brownies. And of course, it got a little dicey there when I moved to Colorado because everybody was like, are these your special brownies from Colorado?
Are you sure? Should I eat this before the board meeting?
Or are these not safe for work, right? Yeah, there we're back to that again.
Well,
But no, these are just regular brownies. Sorry, no special ingredients.
I have more things that Matt chatted that I have no idea that he's talking about. It's an ear flu. It's also a cellular provider besides the insect.
Cricket for $1.49.
Oh, it's also a cellular provider, Cricket. Oh, okay. We got it. Matt, I finally got one of your jokes. It's which
Yeah.
is really tough. Okay, so here's something that's really cool that happened, Janine, is that an entrepreneur put a call out to like all these people that used to be part of entrepreneurs organization, and he just goes, I just want to do comedy. And he does amazing work. He does AI for LinkedIn, right? And that's his business. But he just like he goes, I wanted to have more fun in 2024. And so he put together five of us entrepreneurs called in from around the world and spends like 60 minutes developing comedy. That's
Bravo.
pretty amazing, right?
Bravo. And that's what I'm talking about when we're talking about if you feel stuck or you've lost that spark and your life isn't as you want it or you're not having fun anymore. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, please figure it out. And then ask, send out a call like that. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. This is why I'm doing it. Who wants to join me? It's amazing the people that show up because they want to support you and you had no idea that they wanted to support you in that way. And people do. They want you to succeed. They want you to get better.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me how people don't understand that about their own networks, their own connections on LinkedIn, Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, Alignable. I don't care where your peeps are. They do want you to be successful and they want to help
Yeah.
you. If you don't ask, they don't know.
And the other part is inside of the network that big, there's a small or at least a small collection of people who are really passionate about X, whatever X is, cricket,
Mhm.
comedy, Netflix, books, movies, or whatever. I mean, like stuff that we have in common. So
Mhm.
weather. All
Mhm.
right. Speaking of weather, let's talk about the future weather. What does Janine Bolon see for the future of virtual and hybrid? And maybe what's a wish you have like 10 years from now?
Oh, a wish I have for 10
Yeah.
years from now? Oh,
Yeah.
with the
Like if you could
virtual
wish for
meetings?
anything. Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I see it. Well, I hope to one day be on top of the Space Needle doing a live virtual event with John Chen.
Ooh, that's cool. That's a good wish. I like that.
Mhm, yeah, and I'm not just saying that because you're the podcaster today. I'm saying that because that way I get to visit you, that way I get to be on top of the Space Needle, and that way I get to bring all my peeps along for the ride because I've always wanted to be on top of the Space Needle.
Well, I can get you closer, right? October 1, 2, and 3, we're having the Engaging Conference. And for the first time ever, it's going to be hybrid. We're going to have 150 special guests live in the audience for 3 days with some Hall of Fame speakers. So Janine, if it fits your schedule and your desires, we'd love to have you there. You can also tune in by Zoom if you don't want to make the flight. And if you don't have any money, you can watch the live stream. We have it all.
Mhm.
And so that's the exciting project that I'm working on called the Engaging Virtual Meetings Conference or the Engaging Conference. Now I've shortened it. It's the Engaging Conference.
Good.
Um, but I love the Space Needle idea and yeah, no, I want to hear also the additional part, Janine, which is like, how do you want to be meeting 10 years from now with with virtual or hybrid? What do you think is will be happening like a decade or more from now?
For me, I
Yeah.
think I'll be doing more in-person events because I've been behind the screen for so long that I know eventually I will be doing more in-person events. But as I've told people, you pay for my travel
Yeah.
and you pay for my fee, and I am all yours. Yeah, that's what I was telling for
Yeah.
that for the in-person events. But I do know that that will be happening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I love Matt Roseman. He said when he just chatted, when you're on top of the Space Needle, we'll get the point.
I knew it. I was waiting. I thought if I waited enough because he is the pun master.
That was puntacular.
Yes, it is.
We can invent some more words. Yesterday's words were afeared and what was the other one? Oh, skydover.
Skydover.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So instead of
Nice.
skydiving, a skydover.
Covered.
That's what's in there. Okay. All right. Look,
Interesting.
we're gonna play rapid fire round, and I don't have a list right now, so I'm gonna have to improv all of them. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Favorite platform?
My favorite platform, Planet Earth.
Favorite virtual platform?
Zoom.
Best tool on virtual?
Best tool on virtual cards.
Oh yeah, I love analog signs. Furthest destination you ever mailed to?
Australia.
Ooh. Oh, g'day, mate. Let's
A definitely
best country you've ever visited?
Australia.
Oh, I have not been. I have not been yet. Um,
Can I
most.
qualify something before we do rapid round again? The reason is I had wanted to go to Australia for over 50 years. That's five
Oh,
zero. And I
oh.
made it there last year. I was supposed to go in April of 2020. Guess what happened?
You got canned.
Everybody got shut down. And so
Yeah.
I was able to make it. I was able to have an emu come and drum at me. I didn't even know those suckers could do that. Got to see a kangaroo, got to see a
Oh,
koala bear, all
yay.
the things. So just wanted to let you know that it was worth the 18-hour flight.
Ah, wow. Outstanding. Okay, let's see. Best thing that happened during the pandemic that is not Australia.
I got to have all my children home for an extra year before they all went to
Oh,
college. And I have
oh.
to say, they may not have enjoyed that, but their mother loved it.
Best parenting moment.
I love you, Mom.
Oh, that's a good one. By the way, my oldest son let me know they're expecting, and they just
Oh,
let us know that when the baby shower is, and my two sisters are going to drive and fly into Seattle for the baby shower. It's going to be great.
wonderful. Congratulations, dear. That
Thank you.
really is something.
Okay, and then last one. If you could get people to remember one thing, all of them, including Matt Roseman, good luck to remember from this interview, what would that one thing be?
If you're not having fun right now with your life, figure it out and start inviting everybody around you. So, just like your comedian friend, if you are not having fun in life right now, figure out why you're not having fun,
Hmm.
make whatever change you have to make, and then invite your friends along to join the ride.
All right. Mental health note: when you're having fun, you're most likely not depressed.
And it's true. It's so true. And one of the
Hmm.
things that I end up doing on my podcast is if somebody calls in and they're depressed and all that, I make them angry. Because if I can make somebody angry, they're
Mhm.
not depressed. Because if you're depressed, the world is
Oh,
gray.
yeah.
It's all
Right.
gray and
Yes.
they're not engaging and all that kind of stuff. But if I can make you angry, then they're red and then they do something and then they get pissed off and all of a sudden they have energy.
My coach gave that to me. My coach said it's so much easier to change an angry person than a neutral person.
Yes.
And
Little tip.
and I'll give you my team building corollary to that, right? You know, there's the what they affectionately call the Orman brothers: forming, storming, norming, blah blah blah. And I tell people that managers all the time, when your team fights, you should get excited
Mhm. Yep.
because they'll never get to the performing or the highest level of performing without going through storming. So
Mhm.
you get excited, they should fight. Otherwise, everyone's just being nice to each other.
And that is not necessarily the best environment for creativity.
No, no, it's the worst environment because everyone is just being nice. Oh, Janine, I really love this card. When in fact you might hate it.
Right? Yeah.
And
Tell
you
me the
you would be
truth.
better served. You would be better served going, oh, please tell me the card you hate. Right. Because I got 10 more over here that'll give you the one that you like. Oh my gosh. Geez, Janine. Okay, you get the final word today. Any final word you want to tell people besides we're gonna have fun?
Understood. I think the final word would be thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here today. I don't take it at all for granted. I wake up every morning and I'm like, I get to live another day because there were so many
Mm,
times in my life I could have died. I mean,
mm.
it not due to me being stupid either, just weird reactions. I always like to clarify that, you know, but it's like, but I want to say thank you for being here because I don't take life for granted. And that is one of those things that keeps me in a state of eternal optimism. I'm
Mm.
annoyingly positive. People are like, oh my God, why are you smiling? This is the worst day of my life. And I go, you're alive. And it beats the alternative. And so I just wanted to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being alive. And it's wonderful chatting with my fellow humans.
Oh, well, thank you, Janine Bolon. And I cannot only end with one last message from the one and only Matt Roseman. He says, John is Captain Obvious. I love that
Thank you,
Matt
John.
You're welcome. I love that Matt snuck in another guest interview here by chatting along with us, but that was genius. All right. Make sure and go follow the links to Janine and do yourself a favor. Join me and Janine for coffee on a Friday. It's as fun as this and more. Right, Janine?
It is for me. I hope it is for everyone else.
Yeah. And if it's not, don't show up again. But if it is, come back.
Come on back. We'll have you.
Oh, my gosh. Thanks again, Janine. All right, this is John Chen. We just finished another engaging virtual meetings with Janine Bolon, who says, if you're not having fun, you just need to friggin' figure it out, right? Invite some friends over, ask them when the last time you had fun, and find your funness in 2024. If you're not having fun, you're probably doing it wrong. You're probably doing it wrong. I'm just going to leave you with that. And what else do I have? I just hope you subscribe to this podcast, engagingvirtualmeetings.online. You can subscribe to this podcast on any of 13 platforms, and we release a new episode every Wednesday. Otherwise, if you watch here and you follow me on any of my social media, you get all of these live as they happen, and you should, just like our good friend Matt Roseman. All right, so this is John Chen with another Engaging Virtual Meeting podcast, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Drawing star people and keep old people. Show you God.